Rigveda as the source of Vedic civilization. The Rigveda is not just a sacred text, but a fundamental source that opens the doors to understanding Vedic civilization. As the oldest known religious text, it helps us understand how people lived thousands of years ago, their views on the world, social structures, and moral and ethical principles. While the Rigveda is often perceived through the lens of religion and spirituality, its significance goes far beyond these realms. The Vedic civilization flourished from around 1500 BCE to 500 CE, and the Rigveda is the key to understanding this period. It offers a unique perspective on the social and cultural processes that define the lives of people at the time. The text not only describes rituals and religious practices, but also everyday aspects of life, ranging from agriculture to interactions between various social groups. The Rigveda helps us understand how ancient peoples perceived phenomena such as the earth, water, fire, and how they were connected to divine forces. The Rigveda reflects the worldview of the people of that time. In the Vedic tradition, the world was filled with divine forces, each influencing different spheres of life, from nature to social interactions. These divine forces were not abstract concepts. They were real, active participants in daily life. People believed their well-being, health, success, and happiness depended on how well they followed rituals, honored the gods, and adhered to moral laws. Social life. The Rigveda highlights many aspects of social structure at the time. One of the most notable features is the description of society's structure, which was organized based on varnas, classes dividing people according to their functions and duties. This division existed to maintain order and harmony in society, where each class played its crucial role. For example, the Brahmins, priests, performed important religious functions. The Kshatriyas, warriors, protected the people and maintained law and order. The Vaishyas, farmers and merchants, ensured the economic needs were met, and the Shudras, servants, served the others. The Rigveda acts as a mirror to ancient culture, through which we can see how people perceived their place in the world, how they viewed nature and the universe. One important aspect is how elements of nature, rivers, mountains, forests, the sun, wind, and fire, are presented in the text. These phenomena were seen as divine forces that govern the world. In this context, the Rigveda provides an understanding of the relationship between humans and nature, emphasizing the importance of respecting and honoring the forces of nature, as they had a significant influence on life. Ethical principles and morality. The Rigveda contains important moral principles that reflect views on good, evil, truth, and justice. These moral guidelines aim to maintain harmony in society and facilitate interactions with nature. Principles such as Dharma, righteousness, and Satya, truth, help people navigate daily life. Dharma, as a universal law, governs not only moral behavior, but also harmony in relations with nature, the gods, and other people. The influence of the Rigveda on the future. The ancient Vedic wisdom presented in the Rigveda not only explains the cultural and philosophical foundations of that era, but also formed the philosophical basis for all subsequent periods of our culture. The influence of the Rigveda is still felt today, both in philosophy and religious practice. Ideas such as reverence for nature, rituals and sacrifices, the importance of sound and music, as well as the division of society into varnas, continue to hold great significance for our civilization. The structure of Vedic society, varnas and social roles. One of the most important aspects described in the Rigveda is the social structure of Vedic society. This society was divided into four main groups, varnas, each of which performed its specific functions. What are varnas? It's our social classes or groups formed according to a person's role in society. The varna system was complex and multi-layered, with each class having its own duties, privileges, and functions. In the Rigveda, varnas are described as key elements of social organization, creating the necessary structure for society as a whole. Brahmins, priests. The first and highest varna in Vedic society was the Brahmins. They were spiritual guides and teachers, responsible for performing religious rituals, sacrifices, and other sacred rites. This was the group considered closest to the divine and able to communicate with the gods through prayers and rituals. They were also the guardians of Vedic knowledge, passing this knowledge down to future generations, preserving important religious and cultural traditions. Brahmins played not only a religious role, but also performed essential social functions. They ensured moral and spiritual order in society, guiding people toward righteousness and truth. The Rigveda emphasizes the importance of following religious norms, and Brahmins were the ones who upheld these norms in society. Kshatriyas, they, warriors. The second Varna consisted of Kshatriyas, whose role in society was to provide protection and maintain order. Kshatriyas were warriors and rulers who defended their land, community, and ensured that laws were not violated. This Varna was seen as active and dynamic, focused on physical strength, courage, and strategy. The Rigveda not only highlights the role of Kshatriyas as warriors, but also their ethical duties. They were expected to protect the weak, support justice, and fight for truth. Kshatriyas were expected to be honest and just rulers. It is important to note that, within Vedic culture, they were not only engaged in war, but also played a key role in establishing law and order, helping maintain justice in society. Vaishyas, they, farmers and merchants. The third Varna in the Vedic system was the Vaishyas. This group was engaged in economic activities such as agriculture, trade, and crafts. Vaishyas were responsible for producing food, goods, and services, which was critical for the survival of society. The Rig Veda emphasizes the importance of their work, pointing out that economic activity was as essential to the prosperity of society as spiritual or military activities. Although Vaishyas did not have the same high social status as Brahmins or Kshatriyas, their labor was vital to the stability of society. Shudras, they, servants. Shudras were the fourth and lowest Varna in the Vedic system. This group performed services for the other Varnas, carrying out labor and physical tasks. Shudras were responsible for the everyday work that ensured the well-being of the other classes, often taking on roles such as servants, workers, or artisans. Although the Rigveda describes Shudras as the lowest class, it also acknowledges the importance of their labor in the functioning of society. It is important to note that, in early Vedic times, the attitude towards Shudras was less rigid than in later periods when the caste system became more stringent and restrictive. Varna hierarchy and harmony. The Rigveda emphasizes that the Varna system was not meant to be seen as rigid and unchanging, but as a means to maintain harmony and order in society. Each class performed its role, and interaction between the Varnas was essential for the collective well-being. The idea of harmony between different social groups, which was embedded in the Rigveda, aimed to ensure stability both at the individual level and at the societal level. Each Varna was associated with specific moral duties that guaranteed the observance of Dharma, the universal law of righteousness. For example, Brahmins were to maintain spiritual purity, Kshatriyas were to protect and uphold order, Vaishyas were to ensure economic stability, and Shudras were to carry out necessary physical work. Evolution and influence on later social systems. Although the Rigveda itself does not provide a clear and rigid division into castes, its Varna structure laid the foundation for the later caste system, which became an integral part of social life for many centuries. Over time, this system became more rigid and fixed, leading to social and cultural division. However, the Rigveda, like the other Vedas, views Varnas not as untouchable and permanently fixed, but as a dynamic system where each individual could move up the social ladder based on their efforts and qualities. Nature as a sacred force. The Vedas and worship of the elements. One of the central themes in the Rigveda is the special relationship with nature, which was seen as a manifestation of divine power. Nature was not merely a backdrop to human life, but a living, sacred world that demanded respect and reverence. Nature as a manifestation of the divine. In the Rigveda, nature is not perceived as something lifeless or accidental, but as the embodiment of cosmic order, governed by divine forces. The earth, sky, rivers, mountains, and natural phenomena such as rain and wind were considered sacred. These elements were seen as gods or their manifestations, and by venerating these forces, people sought to establish harmony with the cosmos and ensure prosperity for their society. Every natural phenomenon or element was associated with a specific deity, considered their protector or embodiment. The Rigveda contains many hymns dedicated to these nature deities, describing their actions and attributes, as well as their role in maintaining balance in the universe. Agni, the god of fire, is one of the central deities of the Rigveda. He not only symbolizes the physical manifestation of fire, but also serves as a link between the world of humans and the world of the gods. Agni was a key figure in Vedic religion, as fire was used for sacrificial rites. This god was associated with purification and light, and fire symbolized the transition from darkness to light, from the material world to the spiritual one. Agni was also revered as a mediator, carrying prayers and sacrifices from humans to the gods. Thus, fire, one of the oldest and most universal natural phenomena, acquired a sacred status, becoming a vital element both in religious practice and in the philosophy of Vedic society. Vayu, the god of wind, is an important element in Vedic cosmology. In the Rigveda, wind is not just a physical phenomenon, but also symbolizes life force and movement. Vayu was linked to breath, life energy, and was considered the one who grants life to all living beings. The wind was also viewed as a messenger of the gods, bringing their blessings and strength to earth. Hymns dedicated to Vayu often describe him as a moving force that pervades all existence. An important aspect is that, in the Rigveda, wind is seen as a purifying element, which blows away impurity and restores balance in the world. Surya, the god of the sun, holds a special place in the Rigveda. The sun in Vedic tradition is not only a source of life and light, but also a symbol of truth and knowledge. Surya is the light that penetrates darkness, overcomes invisibility, and brings enlightenment. Worship of Surya is an important aspect of Vedic religion, and in the Rigveda, we find numerous hymns dedicated to this deity, emphasizing his significance in maintaining order and justice in the world. Surya was also connected to the concept of time, as his movement across the sky symbolized the cyclical nature of day and night, as well as seasonal changes. Worship of Surya was not only a spiritual practice, but also a practical appeal to light as the source of life. Indra, the god of thunder and rain, was one of the most powerful deities in the Rigveda. He was considered the protector of people, their defender against demons, and a symbol of strength and power. Indra was associated with celestial phenomena such as storms, rain, and lightning, and was an important symbol of military strength, victory, and courage. Indra was also the god of rain, which ensured the fertility of the earth and guaranteed good harvests. Vedic hymns often depict him as a hero who fights demons and restores order on earth. Vedic ecology, the worship of nature. In the Rigveda, we see how nature and its elements were not just a backdrop for human life, but an integral part of spiritual experience. Nature was seen as a living entity full of divine energy, and every individual was expected to maintain harmony with the surrounding world. This attitude towards nature had a significant impact on the philosophy and ethics of Vedic culture. Nature was not just an external world to be used for the satisfaction of human needs, but was considered part of a higher organized system that required respect, reverence, and protection. Sacrifices and connection to nature. One of the most important aspects of Vedic practice described in the Rigveda is sacrifices. These were a way of interacting with natural forces, gods, and the cosmos itself. Sacrifices were conducted to maintain harmony with nature and gain the favor of the gods. Natural elements such as water, fire, and earth played a central role in these rituals. Worship of the elements also included appeals to the gods to grant rain, harvest, or protection from natural disasters. Through such rituals, people sought to establish a connection with the natural world, understanding that their well-being depended directly on its condition. Sacrifices and rituals, a means of communication with the gods. Sacrifices play an important role in the Rigveda, not only as religious acts, but also as a way to establish a connection between humans and the gods. These rituals were deeply rooted in Vedic tradition and reflect the core principles of cosmology, ethics, and social life. The Rigveda describes various types of sacrifices, each serving a specific purpose. from establishing order and well-being in society to ensuring fertility and protection from demons. Sacrifice as an act of sacred connection. The Vedas emphasize the importance of sacrifices as a means of establishing harmony between the human world and the divine. In these rituals, people offered sacrifices to appease the gods, gain their favor, and maintain order in the world. A sacrifice was not just seen as a material loss, but as a symbol of devotion and love for the higher powers. It was an act of gratitude through which a person could ask the gods for help or support. An important aspect is that sacrifice is not a one-time act, but a continuous process that maintains the connection between humans and the world of the gods. The Rigveda highlights that the sacrifice must be done properly and sacredly, otherwise it may invoke the anger of the gods and disrupt cosmic harmony. It is important that sacrifices be conducted with respect and in compliance with all ritual instructions. The central role of Agni in sacrifices. Agni, the god of fire, was a central figure in Vedic sacrifices. Fire was used as a medium for transferring sacrificial gifts to the gods, and fire itself was considered not only purifying, but also a mediator between worlds. Each sacrifice ritual began with the lighting of the sacred fire, which served as a link between humans and the higher powers. Sacrificial offerings such as milk, butter, grain, and various plants were placed in the fire, which then carried them to the gods. An important part of the ritual was not only the offering of the sacrifice, but also the recitation of sacred texts or mantras, which enhanced the effect of the sacrifice and attracted the attention of the gods. Agni's ritual and its symbolism. The Rigveda describes in detail the ritual associated with Agni. This ritual, called Agnistuma, was one of the most important and frequently performed during Vedic sacrifices. Special attention was given to every step, from preparing the sacrifice to reciting mantras and observing the behavior of the fire. Fire, as a symbol of divine energy, was both a source of purification and protection. Through fire, people not only transmitted their prayers and sacrifices to the gods, but also purified themselves, their souls, and their surroundings. The symbolism of fire and sacrifice reflects the idea that sacred actions can transform the material into the spiritual. Diversity of rituals. The Rigveda describes various types of sacrifices, each with its own purpose and aimed at solving specific problems. Some rituals were intended to improve harvests, others to protect from natural disasters, diseases, or enemies. There were rituals held to restore harmony in society and strengthen peace and order. One such ritual was Ratnashada, dedicated to the god Indra, and related to victories in battles and acquiring strength. Each ritual had its specific characteristics, and the most important aspects were proper preparation, choosing suitable offerings, and adhering to all ritual norms. The Rigveda emphasizes that sacrifices should be performed not only with material devotion, but also with spiritual involvement and sincerity. Sacrifices and their connection with society. Sacrifices in the Rigveda reflect not only spiritual practices, but also important social aspects. These rituals were part of community life and played a role in maintaining social harmony and order. They were often performed during significant events in the life of the community, agricultural activities, transitions of time, wars, etc. Sacrifices also demonstrate the importance of hierarchy in society. Rituals were often conducted by priests who played a central role in Vedic religion. Brahmins, as specialists in Vedic texts and rituals, were key intermediaries between humans and gods. They not only performed sacrifices but also interpreted religious texts, educated other social classes, and preserved sacred knowledge. In the Rigveda, these rituals also had cosmological significance. Each ritual was seen as an act of restoring cosmic order, or Rita, which could be disrupted by improper behavior or failure to adhere to the laws of nature. Thus, sacrifices became an important mechanism for maintaining harmony not only on Earth, but throughout the entire universe. The importance of sacrifices is highlighted in the Purusha Sukta hymn, which describes a ritual related to the sacrifice of the god Purusha, whose sacrifice led to the creation of the world and cosmic order. Cosmology and philosophy. The Rigveda is not just a collection of hymns dedicated to gods, but also a source of unique philosophical reflections on the universe, its origin and structure. These texts reveal profound ideas about the nature of being, time, the cosmos, and humanity's role in the cosmic order. In this section, we will explore in detail how the Rigveda describes the cosmos, raises philosophical questions, and offers answers that continue to inspire reflection even today. Creation Hymn, Nasadya Sukta. One of the most famous and mysterious texts of the Rigveda is the Creation Hymn, or Nasadya Sukta. This hymn raises questions about the origin of the universe, contemplating what existed before the beginning of time, before the earth, the sky, and the cosmos. The hymn begins by describing a state where there was neither light nor darkness, neither air nor earth. It was a moment of absolute void, with no movement or time. The Rigveda asks, who or what created this world? Where did the first movement come from? However, in conclusion, the hymn does not provide definite answers, suggesting instead that even the gods may not know the whole truth. This philosophical piece emphasizes the mystery and unknowns of the universe. It encourages contemplation about the limits of human knowledge and urges the search for truth through reflection, experience, and meditation. The idea of Artha, cosmic order. Artha is a central concept in Vedic cosmology, signifying cosmic order, harmony, and truth. According to the Rigveda, Artha governs everything, from the movement of celestial bodies to the laws of morality and social life. Gods like Varuna were considered the guardians of Artha. They ensured that both humans and nature followed its laws. Violating Artha was viewed as a sin, leading to chaos and destruction. Through adhering to Artha, humans could achieve harmony with nature and the gods. The Rigveda emphasizes that Artha permeates everything, from the tiniest particles to vast cosmic structures. This concept not only unites the physical and spiritual aspects of the universe, but also serves as the foundation for ethical norms and laws. Time and its cyclic nature. The Rigveda introduces the idea of the cyclicity of time, which later became an important element of philosophy. According to these texts, the universe goes through continuous cycles of creation, existence, and destruction. This principle is reflected in the metaphor of infinite breath. Inhalation symbolizes creation, exhalation represents destruction, and the interval between them signifies existence. The cyclicity of time is not perceived as a closed loop. It is a dynamic process where each new phase brings development and transformation. This idea highlights the connection between the past, present, and future, as well as the significance of every moment in the life of humans and the cosmos. Cosmogonic imagery and symbols. The Rigveda is rich in symbols and metaphors that help convey complex philosophical ideas. For example, the Purusha Sukta describes the creation of the universe through the sacrifice of a cosmic being, Purusha. Parts of his body became the foundation for various elements of the cosmos: the sun, the moon, the earth, the sky, and the social varnas. This hymn presents the idea that the universe is a unified system where each element plays its part. The sun, or Surya, symbolizes light, truth, and knowledge. It not only illuminates the world, but also embodies the divine force that sustains order and life. Rivers and waters represent the source of life and symbolize the endless flow of time. Water is also associated with purification and rebirth. Humans in the universe. The philosophy of the Rigveda emphasizes the inseparable connection between humans and the universe. Humans are not merely observers, but active participants in the cosmic order. Through their actions, thoughts, and prayers, they can influence the harmony of the universe. The Rigveda teaches that humans must live in accordance with the laws of Urta, follow the principles of Dharma, moral duty, and respect the forces of nature. This not only helps maintain balance in the world, but also leads to spiritual enlightenment. The legacy of philosophy. The ideas of the Rigveda had a tremendous influence on the development of our thinking. They became the foundation for the Upanishads, yoga, and many other spiritual traditions. Even today, they continue to inspire people in their search for answers, to questions about the meaning of life, the origin of the universe, and humanity's place in it. Ethics and morality in the Rigveda, Dharma, the foundation of Vedic morality. The Rigveda lays the foundations for the concept of Dharma, a universal law that governs the behavior of individuals in society. Although the term Dharma is not directly used, its principles are evident throughout many hymns. Vedic rishis emphasize the importance of justice, truth, and virtue as key components of a harmonious world. Hymns dedicated to the god Varuna often highlight the importance of adhering to the cosmic order, Rita, which is an integral part of ethical living. He observes truth and falsehood, sees every deed done on earth. Adherence to moral principles was seen not only as a personal duty, but also as a condition for the well-being of society as a whole. Truth and its importance. Truth, or satya, is viewed in the Rigveda as a fundamental virtue. Truth holds a sacred status because it is linked to order and harmony. Falsehood, on the other hand, is seen as a source of chaos and disruption of Rita. One of the hymns states, "Truth is what upholds the heavens and the earth. It is the root of light and well-being." This emphasis on truth not only makes the Rigveda a philosophical text, but also sets moral standards for future generations. Generosity and altruism. Generosity is considered one of the highest virtues in the Rigveda. Those who perform acts of giving are praised in the hymns as models of nobility. The hymns extol those who share their wealth with the needy, asserting that such acts strengthen social bonds and earn the favor of the gods. For example, one hymn says, "The generous giver is a friend of the gods. His house is always full of light and joy." Punishment for sins. The Rigveda warns of the consequences of immoral behavior. Varuna, as the guardian of law, strictly monitors adherence to morality. Those who break the order face punishments, which could manifest both in this life and in the afterlife. One hymn describes the feeling of guilt before Varuna. "If I have sinned, knowingly or unknowingly, cleanse me, O Varuna, as water cleanses impurity." This idea emphasizes the importance of recognizing one's actions and striving for correction. The interconnection between ethics and nature. The Rigveda highlights the harmony between humans and nature as an essential element of ethical life. Respect for the forces of nature was considered a moral duty, and defiling them was seen as a serious crime. The hymns often call for careful treatment of the earth, water, and animals. He who respects the earth will be protected by it. He who respects water will find purity in his soul. Ethics in the Rigveda is not limited to human relations, but extends to the entire universe, creating a philosophy of unity and interconnectedness. Rigveda and sound. This section occupies a unique place in world culture, focusing on sound as a fundamental aspect of existence. It teaches that sound not only expresses ideas, but also serves as a form of energy capable of influencing human consciousness, nature, and the cosmos. This idea lies at the heart of the Vedic tradition, where sound is considered a tool for spiritual knowledge and transformation. Sound as the foundation of creation. Vedic philosophy asserts that the entire world emerged from the primordial sound, Om. This sound is seen as the universal vibration containing all other sounds. The hymns of the Rigveda emphasize that sound is an integral part of the cosmic order that maintains harmony in the universe. For example, in the Nasadiya Sukta, a hymn about the creation of the world, it describes how the first word arose from emptiness, giving birth to everything. Musical structure of the hymns. The hymns were not only texts but also musical compositions. Their rhythm and melody played a key role in transmitting spiritual knowledge. Each mantra had a unique sound vibration that amplified its meaning and impact. Performing the hymns required strict adherence to sound accents, tones, and intonations. It was believed that any deviation from the rules could alter the meaning and even disrupt harmony. This attention to detail underscores the importance of sound precision in the Vedic tradition. The power of mantras. The hymns of the Rigveda were regarded as tools for spiritual transformation. It was believed that repeating mantras created special vibrations that purified the mind, enhanced concentration, and strengthened the connection between humans and the divine. For example, the Gayatri mantra, directed to Surya, the sun, is considered one of the most powerful in the Rigveda. Its performance not only awakens spiritual consciousness, but also attunes the practitioner to the cosmos. Oral tradition of transmission. For a long time, the Rigveda existed solely in oral tradition. The priests and Brahmins passed it down from generation to generation, maintaining absolute accuracy in sound nuances. This process was so perfect that over millennia, the text of the Rigveda remained unchanged. Special training methods, such as the Ganapatha, a method of repeating mantras in both forward and reverse order, helped reinforce correct pronunciation in the sequence of sounds. Sound and spiritual enlightenment. The Rigveda considers sound as a path to spiritual awakening. It was believed that through sound vibrations, one could realize their connection with the universe. The mantras of the Rigveda served not only as tools for worshiping the gods, but also helped individuals achieve inner harmony and realization of the highest truth. Sound as a mediator between worlds. In hymns dedicated to Agni, the god of fire, it is emphasized that sound serves as a bridge between the human and divine realms. By reciting mantras and hymns, a person calls the gods and establishes a connection with them. Fire, as the conductor of mantras, amplifies their significance, transmitting sound energy into the heavenly spheres. Sound in the modern understanding of Rigveda. Today, researchers increasingly discuss the therapeutic properties of sound. The mantras and rhythmic texts of the Rigveda inspire meditation practitioners, musicians, and scientists, studying the impact of sound on the body and consciousness. This further confirms the universality and timeless relevance of Vedic knowledge. Thus, the Rigveda demonstrates a profound understanding of the power of sound. It teaches us that sound is not just a means of communication, but a powerful tool for spiritual growth and the harmonization of life. The sound energy embedded in its hymns continues to inspire and transform the world, remaining relevant and significant even in the modern era. The Vedas as an encyclopedia of life. The Rigveda, one of the oldest and most profound spiritual works of humanity, serves not only as a religious text, but also as an encyclopedia of life, encompassing a wide range of knowledge. Its hymns explore the nature of the universe, the place of humans in the world, social structures, spiritual practices, and many other aspects that were relevant millennia ago and remain important to this day. Diversity of knowledge. The Rigveda brings together philosophy, science, ethics, and everyday life. Its hymns, addressed to various gods, natural forces, and cosmic phenomena, reveal knowledge about natural phenomena. The hymns describe in detail natural phenomena, such as the movement of the sun, the changing of the seasons, rain, lightning, and wind. They praise the power of nature and emphasize its connection with the divine. For example, hymns dedicated to Surya, the sun, describe it as the source of light, warmth, and life, while Agni, the fire, is seen as an intermediary between humans and gods. Social structure and rules of life. The texts reflect the foundations of Vedic society, including the caste system, the importance of harmony and cooperation between social classes, and the rules that govern everyday life. Healing knowledge. Some hymns contain elements of ancient medicine, including the use of plants and herbs. This makes the Rigveda one of the early attempts at systematizing medicinal knowledge. Ethics and morality. The hymns emphasize the need for righteousness, truthfulness, compassion, and justice in human life. They teach respect for the laws of nature and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment through adherence to moral principles. Practical orientation. The Rigveda addresses aspects that help a person navigate life. It is not just philosophy, but also specific recommendations concerning relationships with others, ways of performing rituals to achieve harmony and well-being, respect for nature as the source of life and blessings, relevance for the present day. Although the Rigveda was created millennia ago, its principles remain relevant today. Understanding the interconnections in nature inspires ecological thinking. Ethics and moral values provide the foundation for building a just society. The integration of spirituality with everyday life offers a harmonious approach to living. The Rigveda represents an immeasurable treasure of knowledge, inspiration, and wisdom that helps not only to understand the ancient world, but also to find answers to the questions of modernity. Conclusion. The Rigveda is not just a sacred text. It is an extraordinary work that formed the foundation for the entire Vedic civilization and philosophy. It enriches our understanding of the world, nature, and humanity, blending spiritual, moral, and practical aspects of life. As a source of profound knowledge, the Rigveda teaches not only spirituality, but also addresses social organization, ethics, natural phenomena, and even medicine. The Rigveda became the foundation for everything we know about Vedic culture, and its hymns continue to be relevant, inspiring us to seek harmony in life, respect for nature, adherence to moral standards, and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Through the hymns of the Rigveda, we can see how important it is to maintain order and justice both in individual life and in society as a whole. These principles continue to hold significance in Indian culture and throughout the global spiritual tradition. The Rigveda leaves us with a valuable lesson. All areas of life are interconnected and dependent on one another. The wisdom hidden in its hymns continues to inspire people on the path to spiritual progress and creative existence in harmony with the surrounding world. Friends, I hope this deep and fascinating journey through the Rigveda has provided you with new knowledge and inspiration. Together, we explored the philosophy, morality, cosmology, and many other aspects of Vedic wisdom. But each section of the Rigveda hides even more that is worth uncovering. Now, I would like to hear your opinion. Which parts of the Rigveda interested you the most? Perhaps there are topics you would like me to explore in more detail in the next video? I would love to hear your thoughts and suggestions in the comments. If you enjoyed this material and want to continue diving deeper into Vedic philosophy, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to not miss new videos. Thank you for being with me on this journey.